Carbohydrates. It's a food compound made up of 3 elements. If you remember those chemistry elements, which are carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So carbohydrates are made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. That's why you see they are called carbohydrates. Carbo for carbon, hydrogen for hydrogen, and for oxygen. So they are carbohydrates. They are either sugars or starches. Now, they are in 3 categories, which are monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharide. Now, saccharide from saccharose or saccharin, that means sugar. Okay, so this one is as you know that we get most of the biology words, we borrow them either from Greek or Latin. So definitely it's not there in English, but yeah, we borrowed it and yeah, owned it up. Monos for single. Okay, so these are single sugars. These are sugars that are made up of 1 molecule of sugar. They're also known as simple sugars. Such examples include glucose, fructose, and galactose. Glucose is this usual glucose that you can get from a shop or the one they can give at school when after you've run in a race. Yeah, that's the glucose. Then fructose can be found in sugar cane and even some of the chewing gums. If you take the trouble to read, you'll find it there. Then galactose is mostly found in milk. Now, they are simple, we call them simple sugars, and characteristically, they have a sweet taste. They can dissolve in water and they can form crystals. They also change the color of the one we call Benedict Solution. But Benedict Solution is a test solution in the laboratory that can help us determine whether maybe in a certain food sample there are these sugars or they are not there. Okay, so we name it after the person, the scientist who came up with it. Okay, so the next time you come up with a very important solution, we shall call it your surname solution. Okay, if your name is Kagwa, even the whites will have to find a way of saying Kagwa's solution. Benedict Solution helps us to identify presence of simple sugars in any food sample. They are 3, as we have listed them. They cause the change of color of the solution from blue to green to yellow to red, and so we call them reducing sugars. We're going to talk about this in our next session. Those are monosaccharides, simple sugars. Next, I want to call disaccharides. Di for 2, saccharide for sugars. So these are double sugars. These are sugars that are made up of 2 simple sugars. For example, we have these are the three disaccharides. First one being maltose. If the words are new to you, don't worry, you'll get used to them. Maltose is made up of 2 glucose molecules. Sucrose is made up of glucose and fructose. For example, in sugar cane, okay, the sweet part of the sugar cane is because of the sucrose, and lactose is made up of glucose and galactose, and this one can be found in milk. Okay, can be found in milk. And now we're going to look at the last category of carbohydrates, which we have called the polysaccharide. Polysaccharides having poly and saccharide, which means many sugars. So they are complex sugars that are formed by joining many, very many simple sugars. Okay, they do not taste sweet, they do not dissolve in water, and they do not change the color of Benedict solution, and they cannot be made into crystals. The way you see the glucose, all the sugar we use in tea, that's sucrose, okay, it was made into crystals. Now these ones cannot be made into crystals, okay. Now they also do not change the color of Benedict solution, so we refer to them as non-reducing sugars. Such examples of such include starch, cellulose, and glycogen. Starch is a storage form in some plants, okay? It's a storage form of their food, starch. Then cellulose is used in making cell walls of the plants, and glycogen is the storage form of carbohydrates in animals. Clearly, cellulose is found in the whole leaf. Okay, all the cells are made up of cellulose, but you can bear witness with me that they don't taste sweet, do they? Okay, now even unless if the starch has been digested in your mouth, is when it starts to taste sweet. Away from that, it does not taste sweet. And so those are the 3 categories of carbohydrates.